Hey, 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 what do you say? Good evening, Meisters. What's going on? Give me just a second here, and I'm going to bring Kristin up. So, how is everybody doing this evening? It's good to see everybody. We'll get into why I haven't done any shows here lately. So, let's bring Kristin up. Miss Kristin behind the crime door.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Been about 3 weeks since I've done a live. And I thought, well, damn, man, I keep seeing in Facebook groups, the Discords on YouTube, people bitching about a timeline, the bullet, and did the witnesses actually pick him out in a lineup? And I'm just like, all right, let me call Kristin. We're going to talk about this. I'm tired of hearing about it already.
I hear you. Hey, Teddy. I mean?
And I'm just like, I think we should do a show and address this tonight because some of these wackos are just not getting, or they're just ignoring the information that's out there. I mean, like last night, I turned on Bob, and Aju was on there. I wasn't there about 2 or 3 minutes. I just went through the chat to see who was all in there, and I didn't see none of our people in there, even though I know they were watching from afar. And the one main question that kept getting asked, and they were avoiding it: what was Richard Allen's alibi?
Mm-hmm.
And that's
nobody will ask the hard questions,
right? And I said, okay, I think we should address this. So I called Kristin up today, and I said, "You want to do a live tonight?" And she said, "Sure, let's get at it." So let's give shout out. Yep. Give some shout outs. We got Olivia in the house, Rob, Troll, Shovel, Mr. Gravitt, CJK, 63 Flux, Mustang, John France, Leslie K. Hey, there's Mir. It's good to see you. I hope all is well with you. I know you're having some fun, issues with health and stuff like that. So, Constantine, good to see you. Miss Nixon, good to see you.
Hey, Heather, how are you?
Brian, good to see you. Oh, there's a lot of people in here. Joe Newman, what's going on, my bro, my dude? Rescues in the house.
Hi, Rescue. Hey, Periwinkle.
And that reminds me, before we go any further, we're not going to go into detail, but I would like for everybody to send Ruckus some prayers. He is real sick, guys, and he needs all the prayers he can get. And that's as far as I can go into it. Just asking for prayers to be sent to Ruckus Rocks.
Absolutely.
Cindy, good to see you. Mr. Teddy, what's going on? Did you see Florida beat the brakes off of Tennessee yesterday by like 30-something points?
I did. CJK, I don't care about Arizona State. I'm an Arizona fan. University of Arizona.
IU's playing right now. Linda Harders. Ziggy. James Power. Periwinkle. Oh, there's the Lulu. There's the Lulu.
We love our Ruckus, and
oh yeah,
we are sending him our well wishes.
I talked to him today for the first time since last week, and he's at home, doing what he's supposed to be doing, meds and all that, but he's really, really sick. He wouldn't go into details with me about anything, but the point of the matter is he's part of the family, and we needed to send some prayers to him.
Absolutely.
And as far as me, guys, the reason why you haven't seen me around, because I'm dealing with my own health issues. As y'all well know, I've got liver issues, and that's what I'm concentrating on right now. Doesn't mean that I'm not doing any cases, because I do things behind the scenes still, you know, but I'm taking a break from actually doing lives for a little while and concentrating on my health, but I'm still working on things behind the scenes. As you all well know, I wrote Judge Gold a letter because Judge Gold did state that everything was open to the public once the case was over with, besides the crime scene photos and the autopsy photos and medical records. Those have all been sealed. So I contacted her court reporter a couple weeks ago, and she contacted me back and advised me that she will not release any exhibits of any sorts from this case to the public without a court order. So I took it upon myself and wrote a nice letter in there, a nice letter for her, and see if I can get her to release a few things from the exhibits. You know, I primarily want the interrogations and interviews with Richard Allen, and I want the enhanced audio video of Libby out of Libby's phone, so everybody can see exactly what took place up there. You can hear word for word it's being said between the girls, Richard Allen, the whole works. You can even hear them walking on gravel. That's
Right.
how it sounds. It's pretty amazing, actually. But otherwise, let's get to this now.
I know I saw that Gray was doing a live a little while ago about Ajay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was breaking down what he thought was wrong about that interview.
That was the main thing that I caught right off the bat. The same question was being asked, and they were avoiding it. And I guarantee, if I was to pull up that live show right now with Baldwin, they're doing the same thing there too.
Oh God, yeah.
You know,
that's
why I won't watch that kind of crap.
Me either, and it'll never surprise me. I mean, it never ceases to amaze me, I should say, how these so-called attorneys jump on YouTube and do all this negative bantering about these cases that they know ethically is just not what they should be doing.
Right.
And that's what I think it's about. It doesn't really go to anything else except for ethics and morality. You know, it's like, where is your morality and your humanity as a person? I get that every person, you know, is entitled to a defense, and everyone is entitled, you know, to put forth their best defense. I have no problem with that. But what I have a problem with is the bottom feeders, is what I like to call them, because to me, that's what they are. You know, they are absolutely the bottom feeders.
It is blatantly obvious that they're only doing shows on Delphi still to make money.
To make money.
That is it.
Yep. To make money and to increase their channel, you know, their viewership. They're hoping that people will watch, and people do. And that is why, and that's why they're doing it. I mean, there's no other reason behind it at all.
Right. You know, and I ended my thing with Delphi a long time ago. You know, there's still documents coming in and here and there. And the question people I've always seen since the trial's been over is that people want to hear the audio video or see that, and they want to see the interrogations. Now, the interrogations to me would be a good training tool for people to learn from. If I was to get them and present them on my channel, we can go through the interviews ourselves and determine what Lieutenant Holman was. What's the word he would use instead of lying? But there's another word he uses for it. But things like that, you can watch
you mean when Holman is telling him things that aren't necessarily the truth?
Right. Exactly.
They use that a lot, and that's a lot of their tactics that they're able to use. They can basically
lie to you.
yeah, I mean, it is lying, but I mean, they can present things that are not truth, or based partially in truth,
Right.
but not really. You know, and they do it all the time in interrogations, trying to get more out of who it is they're speaking to.
And if you watch the interviewer, such as Richard Allen, you get to watch his mannerisms, watch his feet, watch his hands.
They're looking for that.
You know,
Yeah, they're
those are
looking
the kind
for
of
any
things that
kind of reaction.
that's the kind of things that we can learn from this case, you know. And
oh yeah, I really like watching interrogation videos. They're really interesting. If you go back and look at some of the interrogation videos from the Memphis 3 case, those are just unbelievable.
Well, they're boys then. I mean, damn. Because I lived in Arkansas at that time when that happened.
Right.
You know, and they were just knee-high to grasshoppers when all that stuff happened. I do believe it happened. They did it, especially Damien. He just kind of freaks me out.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, you know, even if you're weird, a little weird, or you know, whatever, you have
it's just the things that he was into that kind of freaked me out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
It wasn't about him as a person. It was just the things that he was into. I was like, my God.
I agree with you, Teddy, that the face that Ajay and Baldwin have put on compared to how trashy they were at the trial.
Like I said before, and I think Teddy would agree with me on this, is that I felt like there was animosity between Baldwin and Rosie. There was some friction there because they're halfway through the trial. I noticed that Baldwin basically kept to himself, and he just had that look on his face like he did it, but I've got to defend this. You know what I mean? It was like I could see he knew that Richard Allen did it, and he didn't want no part of it.
I think that they both were just completely unethical and condescending almost to the court, the way they behaved. Although I think they were better behaved in the trial than they had been prior to, which, you know,
oh yeah,
they had to have been, because
I totally agree.
Yeah, she would have unleashed on them had they not been. She was done with their antics. I firmly
it was blatantly obvious during the trial. There was a few times when Baldwin was addressing a witness, and the witness wasn't putting up with his bullshit. I knew of two of them that wasn't putting up with his
I was there one day for that, and I was like,
and he turned around and looked at the judge like, "Judge, are you going to do anything?" And she just like, you know, I was like, "Well, you did it to yourself, dude." You know, and I was like, and that's what told me right there that they had no chance in hell in that trial with the antics they pulled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as far, go ahead.
You know, they like I said, you know, Bob Mata is only trying to build his rep on YouTube. He doesn't care, you know, and get invited to the national talk show circuit. That's what he's hoping. That'll really take off his, you know, make his channel take off.
Right.
And anything that they can do from here on out, you know, until an appeal has been filed and decided or whatever, they're gonna exploit it all.
Right. Well, we do know that Baldwin and Rosie are no longer on this case because of the filings that were filed with the court from that Amy girl from the public defender's office. So, and Judge Gold approved it to appoint 2 public defenders to Richard Allen. So it sounds like this Amy girl, I can't remember her last name, is going to appoint 2 public defenders for him. So it's in the process. It hasn't been filed. Nothing's been filed yet, but the paperwork for public defenders.
Oh yeah, they will. That's what they have to do. he'll get 2 appellate attorneys appointed to him, just like he had 2 attorneys appointed to him for trial. The appeal process is the same way. And once they are appointed, then they have to do that filing, and they have to do that filing before
February 4th.
Right.
I went on the calendar and counted off all the days and took off the days for holidays and the weekends. So it came out to February 4th. Is
the last I knew, Jinx was fine. I haven't talked to her for a few days.
She messaged me today. She's sick too.
So I was going to say, everybody that is sick. I mean, my husband's been sick since the Saturday after Christmas. And these last 2 days, I mean, he's just been in bed. He hasn't even been eating. It's just awful. I don't wish this crap on anybody. I don't want anybody to get it.
You know, when you have health issues, you stay away from people. I mean, you just try to stay away from people as much as you can. And I don't like being like that, man. But my life is worth a lot more than that to be around people that are sick. You know what I mean?
There's so much sickness. There's, RSV, pneumonia, COVID's back. They've got, our hospital.
That bird flu is going around.
Our hospital just canceled all elective surgeries this week because they don't want all the other extra people in the hospital for no reason, because everybody's sick.
Right. But when it comes to the alibi, everybody should know from the defense side what his alibi is. There is an alibi. The alibi is he was at the bridge in the trails. But the question is, what was your alibi after the fact? What did you do after the fact? Did you go home and take a nap? If you did, prove it, which they more than likely are going to say we can't prove that kind of alibi if no one was at the house but him.
Well, and also they don't have to prove anything. Remember, that's the defense doesn't have to prove anything.
Right. I mean, these are questions that should have been asked.
These are questions that are legitimate questions that people should want to know answers to. And,
and don't let this time, he changed his time bullshit for you. That was the defense who did that. That was not Richard Allen.
No, he stated the same to the police when they were interrogating him in October.
And I was just like, that's what they do. They tell you one thing prior, and then when they come back to question you again, you change. That's what they wanted to hear from him, to change his story. And another question is about the bullet. One more time. The bullet was found the same day the girls were found. The proof is in the pudding. The defense admitted that the bullet was found on the day the girls were found. It's in the Frank's memorandum, the very first one. Go back and read it. They admitted to it. So you might as well just throw the damn bullet crap out the window, quit questioning it and all that kind of crap, because if the defense is admitting it was found on that day, then you would have to believe them also.
Well, they need to stop listening to Barbara McDonald, because, she's the one who started that BS about the fact that the bullet was found weeks later. She did that on national television.
You guys are beating a dead horse. You guys know who I'm talking about. I know it's nobody in my chat or our followers like that. And I know they listen and they watch. And we're talking directly to you. You guys are beating a dead horse with the shit you're doing here. I'm almost 99.9% that he will not get an appeal. Most definitely will not get an appeal for an ineffective counsel, because they got thrown out the window when they filed that shit with the Supreme Court. When they got put back on the case. So that's out the window. You're going to try to say that there was third party? Where's your evidence? Where's your DNA? Where's your forensics? Where's your phone pings? All that shit. You don't have it. So I'm trying to tell you people, you guys got to stop listening to this garbage, because that's what defense attorneys do. They make up stories to get their client off. It's called a game of manipulation. That's how I look at attorneys. They are taught and trained to manipulate your brain and believe in what they are saying.
They manipulate facts, and they add things that aren't there. The defense can do anything they want. I told everybody this. You know, we talked about this a lot before trial of what the defense was able to do, and the fact that the defense can do a lot more than the prosecution. The prosecution has to adhere to actual evidence, but the defense can come up there and pretty much say whatever the heck they want to a point. And that's what got them in trouble, because they locked horns and with the judge because she was sticking to the letter of Indiana law and stating that you have to have a nexus to third-party defense. And that's what the law in Indiana states. It's very clear. It's not convoluted in any way. It's very, very clear.
It's common sense. The way it's worded, anybody can understand the way it's worded. If you have no nexus evidence whatsoever, you cannot use third party.
And I mean, you know, so they knew going into it that they did not have a defense of Richard Allen. They knew that. And so they knew that this is what they had to try and do. They had to try to get the court to allow them to do third party. And they also had to try to prove that Richard Allen was crazy or was mentally having some kind of psychosis.
Breakdown, right.
And we all talked about this.
Right.
It doesn't matter what his mental state was in 2023. It doesn't. What matters was what was his mental state on February 13th of 2017.
And see, we talked about this earlier today. This is my opinion. When he left his mom's house, he stopped by the liquor store because he already knew what he was intending on doing. This is just my opinion. He got a six-pack. Slammed that six-pack by the time he got home, got his jacket, got all the weapons he needed because he knew what he was going to do, and the alcohol numbed him from anything he was about to do.
Yep.
That's just my opinion. You know, I smoke weed because of pain. It numbs the pain. That's why I smoke weed. Same thing with alcohol. Alcohol numbs pain, and it knocks out anything in your brain you're even thinking about. And me and you were also talking about this also today. Why were they using the phrase, he lie in wait? He was not lying in wait. He was on the bridge. If he was lying in wait, he'd been off in the woods just to watch him, where nobody knew he was there. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. No, I agree.
You know? But as far as an alibi, until we hear from Richard Allen, which we know most likely not, we won't. His alibi, he was at the trails at the time. And then I keep hearing about, well, did any of the witnesses identify Richard Allen? We talked about this today also, Kristin.
They're not going to. He had a face covering. He had a hat on, a face covering, and a hoodie.
And he was looking down when he was walking. He was
making sure that they couldn't see him. He didn't want them to be able to identify him.
You know, but I can almost guarantee you, just my opinion again, from watching enough law enforcement and all the things they do, is that they brought every one of those witnesses in and showed them a picture of Bridge Guy and said, is this who you saw? And they said, oh, yeah, that's who we saw. Just like Sarah Carball did. When she finally saw the news and saw Bridge Guy's photo up there, she was like, oh, shit, that's who I saw that day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. And so, the fact that, you know, she didn't want to be a part of this case, and she was doing everything she could to probably keep herself distanced from it. You know, that's not unusual. A lot of people don't want to get involved. A lot of people see things or hear things and are like, oh, somebody else will deal with that. I don't have to. And, you know, it's a common human kind of quality that people kind of shy away of getting involved.
Right.
It's real easy to say what you would do when you're not actually in the situation. And you can say, oh, I would do this, this, and this. But when you're actually faced with it, you don't know what you would do.
Exactly. Because you've never been in that situation to prepare
Exactly.
for it.
Right.
You know, and another thing is the timeline. There was a photo that was shown at the trial with what's her name? Bree. It might have been Bree, or it might have been the other girl that testified. I can't remember her name right off the bat.
Riley?
Right. No, not Riley. Oh, I can't think of her name. I'd have to pull my notes out. But they showed a picture at trial of the girls taking a picture of themselves right before they saw Bridge Guy. And they tried to change their time from that. Remember when the girls said they took a photo of each other like at 2:15 or something like that? And, or no, it was 1:15 or something like that. And Riley said she was walking back to the Freedom Bridge parking lot, and that's when she passed him. She said that was about 1:30 to 1:35. Now, how can all three girls see you at this one specific time, and you admitted to seeing these girls, but decided to change your time?
Exactly.
1 minute you're saying you're there from 1:30 to 3:30, but once the witnesses put you at the trails the same time they were, all of a sudden your timeline changes. It doesn't work like that. When you got 3 people that seen you, 4 people, actually 5 people against 1, the odds of you winning that battle is not very good.
Right. Boy, that's the truth.
You know what I mean? And I haven't even bothered to bother them girls. And I know a lot of these other people have been trying to reach out to them to do interviews. I can guarantee it.
Yeah.
Baldwin is an embarrassment, Joe. I don't care what anybody says, but that motherfucker, he did intentionally let Wester Smith in that conference room to see them photos. I can guarantee it.
I agree.
You know, and now Wester Smith is no charges on his record or anything because of this. Yeah, and I've already heard that Richard Allen's already causing problems up at Westville already.
Doesn't surprise me.
So what's your take on everything everybody's saying right now?
Well, it doesn't shock me, and it doesn't really surprise me after everything that we witnessed, on social media with this case. I think that it goes back to people just not wanting to accept the narrative of what actually transpired in the courtroom and what actually transpired in the trial, and the fact that 12 impartial jurors that were pulled from another county in Indiana, they have no ties to Carroll County whatsoever, listen to the evidence the same way you did every single day in that courtroom, and they found this man guilty unanimously. These people are not willing to accept the truth, in my opinion. And it's because it does not align with what they believe happened.
Right.
And we've talked about this over and over again for years, before Richard Allen was ever arrested, that there were people that were willing to die on hills for their POIs. There were people out there that would fight like tooth and nail with you if you let them, in chats and everywhere else, to defend their reasoning as to why it was so-and-so and not so-and-so.
Really,
I just think it's sad that they won't let it go. I think it's sad that they won't. To me, it's disrespectful to Abby and Libby. It's disrespectful to the families that are trying to move on and move away from this part of the whole ordeal and put it behind them. it makes it difficult for them to do that when this stuff is still going on online, and you know that they know that
that I was getting ready to say something about that. Don't you think the families have been through enough? And it's obviously to me that none of you scarecrows have ever imagined yourself being in their shoes. Sit back and think about if it was your daughter, your son, your granddaughter, grandson that was brutally, heinously murdered in the way that they were. And then sit back and imagine what these families are going through.
And having those pictures of what was done to them up on an 80-foot screen TV, in a courtroom where everybody can see them. And then not just that, but the fact that they were released on the internet so that they're there forever.
Yeah. And it really disgusts me, especially the ones that are parents. Especially the ones that are parents. You're more about yourself and the money you can make off this case, and then worrying about sitting back and thinking, well, damn, what if that was my child? What would be going through my head? You're not doing that. And all the people in my chat, myself, Kristin, Sleuth, Deb's True Crime Notebook, several others, we all have haven't not actually put ourselves, but we've sat back and reflect on what it would be like to be in their shoes. So that's where we're at. There's no reason for you to shame the family whatsoever. Y'all need to leave Kelsey alone. Period.
I don't get the whole let's still be bad mouthing and bashing Kelsey.
She's getting ready to have another baby next month.
These people are, they're just sick, and they don't have anything better to do than to play with and manipulate people they don't even know.
Right.
These people don't even know Kelsey.
Nope.
Never met her, never talked to her. They don't know jack shit.
Nope.
And they don't know that about any of these family members that they've talked about and said things about. And that's what gets me. These people that come, with both gloves off, ready to fight, talking nasty stuff about these people that they don't even know.
Exactly. And I wish they would just sit back and think about what I'm saying when they do listen and watch my show. Kelsey needs to be left out of this. I don't know why she needs to be left out of it. The whole both families need to be left out of it, period. I mean, you're not going to get anywhere with your Odinist crap. They can't put Holder, Westfall, Elvis, Johnny Messer, any of them in Delphi on the day of the murder.
And I agree with Glow FKA Delulu Bishos. These people are after attention. That's all they care about. And as long as we continue to give them that attention, even if it's negative, that's all they care about. We just have to stop. We have to stop giving them the attention that they so desperately seek.
No, Joe, I think it would. I mean, if he said it was a 6-pack of beer, I would have to believe it was a 6-pack of beer. Because any of the photos that's always been out there, him at JC's or whatever bar he's at, he's always drinking a beer.
Well, his neighbors said that he used to come home from work and sit in the driveway and drink beer.
Like a lot of us used to. I mean, I remember when I was in my 40s and I was married and kids and all that. We'd sit out in the front yard and do our thing while the kids played in the front yard, throw a football, whatever they were doing, riding their bikes. We used to do that. So that's not really uncommon.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm going through the chat. No, Linda, he is not in Gen Pop. He is in a control unit up there in Westville. It is pretty bad that they can't leave this case alone. Instead of being negative, me and Kristin and several others have to come out and straighten shit out, because talking about alibis, this and that. And I'm like, look, the motherfucker didn't have an alibi. Technically, he didn't, but he did. He was at the trails, at the bridge as part of his alibi, but where was the rest of his alibi? Where was he at afterwards? That's the question.
Rose 1900's got it right. She says many of these YouTubers jump on every case claiming the arrested party is innocent. And again, they just want to be on they like confrontation. They like creating chaos. And what better way to create chaos than to be on the side that most people are not. So in these kinds of cases, it would be the person that's accused of the crime, correct?
Exactly. And it's ridiculous because they know more people like that, the conspiracy type crap in cases like this, and then actually learning about the case and learning the facts and the details of the case. And that's exactly what we've done over the years, page by page. If we heard something, what we were doing, Kristin, we were trying to vet the hell out of that shit, you know? And if we couldn't vet it out, we didn't talk about it, you know? But these guys, they won't even vet anything. They'll just put anything out there. Delulu is not a bot. Thank you, Nate, for the super sticker. You know, I tolerate him. I tolerate Bob because we were in the courtroom most of the time together, you know, hanging out in the line, waiting to get in, you know. But besides that, I just tolerate him. Him and his paisley shirts and things of that nature.
I have a problem with that guy on the screen. I think he needs to change his name.
Hickers? Oh, yeah, I see it. Somebody, one of you ladies, please put him out. I didn't thank you for catching that.
Yep. I have a real problem with that.
Let's see if anybody's already got him.
Rescue, can you kick him, please? Thank you.
I'm glad you caught that. I just banned him. He's
Thank
out.
you.
Yeah, we don't tolerate that racism crap around here.
No, not in this channel.
Nope.
Nope. Yeah, Joe agreed.
Yeah, I got bots. You believe that? They say that I've been trolling so much that I got bots now. I don't troll none of them guys. None.
No. Who has time for that?
They're on the opposite spectrum than us. Why would I want to watch that?
Exactly.
Yeah, I kicked him. CJK.
Yeah, Frank banned him. So, yeah, he's gone.
It was a troll. Refund $1.99. Too late for that. You can't refund it. There is no refunds on YouTube. You didn't know that?
Refund.
Uh-oh. What's going on?
Oh, from Susan.
No. Where's Susan?
Oh, she just texted us.
She didn't text me. She did respond to my letter that I sent Judge Gold. I haven't talked to her in a couple of weeks. I know that her mom was in town and all that stuff for the holidays.
Well, I haven't talked to her either, but didn't you just send that message to both of us?
That's old because somebody had sent it to
But you
you.
sent it to me at 6:20.
No, there was another one. Hold on.
To me, when you sent the one about Jerry.
Yes, and then you shared it with Susan, right?
No,
Somebody did.
You sent that to her and I.
I sent it to you.
I didn't send that to. I didn't.
I don't know how she got it, dude, because I sent it to you, and then like a few minutes later, I got a response from you and her because we're all in that thing together.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know that it was there. I saw it when it came through. It came through from you and to her and me.
And by the way, guys, speaking of Lieutenant Holman, spoke to him today. He was on vacation and he got back Sunday and it gets super sick like the rest of them. And he sent me a message and said, I will call you Friday to set up a time for a live show. I have no voice. So it's still on to do an interview with me and Kristin and Lieutenant Holman. It's just when we can get it done. I'll let you guys know. And then when we do set a day and time, I will notify everybody within a day or two, because I know there's going to be a lot of questions. People are going to have a lot of questions. If you're going to have questions, please send them to me prior to that. And I'll put a notification out. If you got questions, you need to send to Kristin or myself. And then we have to go over them with Lieutenant Holman. Make sure which ones we can and cannot ask. I hope you guys understand that, because there's going to be things that we do want to ask, but we can't. We already know that. So when that time comes, guys, I will put a notification out there. So what else do you want to talk about, Miss?
Well, I'm really looking forward to the interview with Jerry.
Yeah.
I think that'll be that'll help to clear up some stuff, because I'm not afraid to ask some hard questions. And, I'm not going to go hard at the police, because I frankly think that they're human and they I think they did a good job with what they had at the time. Did they make mistakes? They are the first ones to admit it.
Oh, yeah. You all right?
Yeah.
And we'll try to get the questions out that we can to him, guys,
Yeah. And I put out to my channel, and I'm sure that, you're the same. If you guys have questions that you want us to ask him, drop them in the chat, drop them in the, in the comments section under the live stream, or email them to us.
Right.
And we'll look them over and, so that we don't get redundant over and over questions, and we'll put them, in a questionable format so that we can go over those.
Right. And do we have to go over with Jerry beforehand too?
Yeah.
It's going to be some time before the family actually wants the interviews done. I've spoken to Becky. What the hell was you doing? You all right? But like I said, I already spoke to Becky, because she knows that I want to interview with her, and she's known this forever and ever and ever and ever. And she said, we want to take some time. And I said, I totally get it. I totally get it. Do the holidays, go on vacation, whatever you guys need to do. I'm still in contact with them every couple days. This is like last night, Tara messaged me and said, how do I watch here? I'll read the message she sent me. I started laughing. It was hilarious. She sent me this message last night. She says, how do I watch fucktard Modest gag me with a spoon live tonight without subscribing to his page? I said, you don't have to subscribe to watch. I said, that's hilarious. So I'm still in contact with the family, and I probably will be for a while. Because this is still going to be my case no matter what, because if there is an appeal, I'm watching every day. I check every day. I check for a divorce being filed. I even check that too. Trust me.
I know
on
you're not the only one looking for that.
it. I'm
There's
on
some
top
other
of
people that are watching that as
right,
well.
right. But wanted to come on here for a little bit, guys, because I know you haven't seen us in a while.
Yeah. And
we're not going anywhere. We have lives to live to. Mine's a little bit different than Kristin. She's got a husband who's ill. She takes her grandkids, picks them up for school. She's got a life just like I do, but mine's more or less I have to worry about my health right now. And I won't know anything more about my liver for another few weeks. All I know is that a doctor called me Friday and said, look, I'm sending your case to a group of specialty doctors. She said, we don't know if it's just a shadow, if it's a cyst, if it's a fatty tumor, or if it's actually a tumor. So she wants them to look over the case first before we make the next move. So that's where we're at right now with that.
And I mean, are we going to do, since Randy's in here, I was just asking, when's the next walk, Randy?
I believe it's April 5th at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
I believe it is April 5th. And Randy, if you're still in here, will you put it in the chat so I can post it real quick? Yeah,
I'd like to be able to post it too, so that we make sure we let everybody know.
I believe it is April 5th. It's a Saturday. Let me make sure. April 5th, 2025.
Okay.
What day is it? Thursday? No. Let's see. Yep, it's a Saturday. Saturday the 5th at 1 p.m.
Awesome. I just heard from Ruckus, guys. He said he's feeling better. He's better. He's good. And so let's just keep him in our prayers.
We're meeting at the Abby Livy Walk. Meet at the ballpark. Saturday the 1st of April. April 5th at 1 p.m.
Okay. You said meeting at the ballpark?
Yeah.
Okay.
Randy just sent me the message. Here, let me send this over to you. Hold on.
Okay.
How do I get it over? You're not on Facebook.
Well, I am, but I'm not. I'm not on there as I'm not on there as my YouTube persona.
Here, I just sent you. No, not that one, damn it. Why is your name tied to Susan like that? What? I didn't do that.
Why? I don't know. I didn't do that. I told you.
I'm like,
I told you that came to me that way.
I was like, why am I seeing that?
And I'm like, why is that coming to me with Susan's name on it? And I'm like, well, he must just want Susan to know too.
I keep all my peoples informed of what's going on. I just sent you the text.
Okay, great.
But otherwise, we just wanted to come on here for a little bit. I'm waiting on the response from Judge Gold. Don't know when that could be. It could be tomorrow. It could be Friday. It could be a week from now. She's got 30 days to respond to it. That's all I know. And I emailed her Sunday evening or Sunday afternoon. So she's got plenty of time to respond. Anthony Greeno also sent a letter to her. So we'll just have to sit back and wait for her to respond. I'm not getting my hopes up high, but I'm hoping that she does release some of the exhibits, the ones that we could present. You know what I mean? So, Kristin, until next time, I'm glad you came up. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you.
Tell Alan I'm thinking about him.
Thank you.
Feeling better.
I will.
Everybody in the chat, thank you for showing out. Mods, thank you. You were great tonight. Love you guys.
Yeah, love you all.
And you nasty person with the words you were using, thank you for the $1.99.
There you go.
Until next time, guys, you know what time it is. Peace out. One love, guys. Good night. Love you guys.